Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to turn a cable. First using the cable needle here, which is this little funny looking needle, and then using just a spare double pointed needle, because you can really turn a cable with either of these two things. So the first thing I'm going to do is get to the point where my cable begins, and here it is, these 4 stitches here. I'm going to turn this cable. Now this cable here is going to start with slipping 2 stitches and holding them in front. Cable 4 forward. So I'm gonna hold those stitches in front, and I love this hook because it just allows me to hold those stitches well out of my way. Then I'm going to knit 2, just like that, and then I'm going to knit 2 from the cable needle. So I just switch it as if this was my knitting needle, and I knit 2 from my cable needle, like that. Okay, put that down. Now I'm going to continue until I reach my next cable. So I have a few purl stitches right here, 3 to be exact. And here I am with my next cable. This is a mirroring cable, so this side is going to be a cable 4 forward, and this side is going to be a cable 4 backwards. So I'm going to do what I just did a minute ago and work a cable 4 forward. So I'm going to take the first 2 stitches, slip them onto my cable needle and hold them in front, and knit 2. Then I'm going to make sure I don't twist these around, and knit 2 right from my cable needle, like that. Alright, and so that's the cable 4 forward, and here is the cable 4 backwards. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to come in from the back this time, and I'm going to slip 2 stitches off. There's 1, there's 2, and turn this cable needle, just hold them in the back of my work, knit 2 stitches, and then making sure I don't put any twists in those stitches there, gonna knit the 2 that I held on my cable needle. Just knit those as normal. Okay, so I can get my in-between purl stitches worked. And here I am. Oops, I dropped my cable needle there. Okay, and I'm ready to work the cable to the back again. Slip 2 stitches, hold them in the back, knit 2, and finally knit 2 from the cable needle. Alright, and that's how you use a cable needle. Alright, so we have here some really nice looking cables. They look just like the other ones here. And one quick trick I'm going to share with you is, if you've lost count of how many cables you've worked and you need to work 7 or 8 or 6 or 12, a really quick way to figure out where you are in your knitting is just to count the cables just like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I've turned 6 cables here. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to use a double pointed needle and turn the cables, because let's face it, we don't always have a cable needle lying around. Sometimes, you know, when I go traveling, I find that I forgot my cable needle, and all I have is a double pointed needle, and that works just fine, as you'll see in just a second. I'm trying to knit over to where my cable begins, and here I am right in the right spot. In some ways, I actually think that using a cable needle might actually be easier to turn a cable, but it does require slipping the stitches on and then off. So this is a cable 4 forward, so I take 2 stitches, I hold them in the front of my work, I knit 2, then I just slip these guys right back on. I like to hold my cable needle behind my ear, actually. It's an easy to reach place there. And then I knit those 2. That's my cable 4 forward, and I've reached the mirroring cables here, so I'm going to do my cable 4 forward again. Just slip 2 stitches off, hold them in the front. These are left unknitted for now. Then I knit 2, slip these back on, and knit 2. All right, we've reached the cable 4 backwards, so let's take 2 stitches and hold them in the back of my work, knit 2. Then I'm just gonna slip those stitches right back onto my needle and knit those. Okay, and purl the in-between stitches here and do another cable 4 back, slipping 2, holding them in back, knit 2 of the next stitches, and then slip those held stitches back onto my left needle and knit those. All right, and let me just get through these purl stitches real quick. So you'll see that using the cable needle in no way impairs the look of the cables. They look exactly the same, and you know, each one of you are going to have to decide which one you prefer. Maybe it's nice to have both on hand, you know, both techniques work just fine. So you'll have to decide which one you prefer the most personally for yourself. And the great thing about knitting is there's no wrong way to do it. As long as it works, that's the criteria for it being right. So that's how you turn a cable with a cable needle and a double pointed needle.